minimizing charisma, maximizing intelligence, shooting someone in the crotch with a cannonball, thrust, propulsion. It's science-y.
Why you always gotta be blowing my spot up like that? There are my runes. There they are. I'm not mad. Science needs art and art needs science. They both need each other to function properly.
There are ways to figure out what the paper is really saying.
And then I'm ready to get on Twitter and yell at people about doing their own research on...
Oh, hold on there, sports fan.
Kyle Hill, everybody, is the next generation of science communicator. I'm going to be too old at a certain point to do those terrible things to my body, and it'll be up to you.
He's got like a lion's mane. This guy's amazing. Kyle Hill.
I'm Boo Rambo.
The universe is indifferent to you. Whether or not you have amazing hair, the universe doesn't care.
How are trees pushing past this pressure limit? Behold, my balls. Now we're getting somewhere, but I still don't think it's worthy of G.R.R. Martin's suspender.
I'm totally right? Post up photos of my frickin' hair? Is that what you all want? No, you don't, weirdos.
Kyle Hill. Is your last name actually Hemsworth? What's going on?
Our resident Thor lookalike?
I prefer Black Friday Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, you know, if you need a haircut... No, of course not! We're not gonna send sharks with frickin' laser beams on their heads to an asteroid. We're gonna nuke it. You don't need Bruce Willis at all. Wrenched. Oh! Headshot! Oh! Kevin, turn on the monitor. Kevin, this transition better work. The blast doors can't... Kevin, turn it on. Kevin. Kevin, call his agent and have them call my agent.
Kyle Hill, happy birthday. Feliz Navidad.
I'm just a biologist. I don't know how this works. This is how you do science. Can I just grab it? Oh. Laws, corollaries. Bye-bye.
I know that global catastrophe isn't the most fun thing to think about all day unless you're me, so...
Are we gonna do some science, bro?
Lasers don't have that much momentum.
That's not how clockwise works.
Don't worry, you can do this even if you are not an AI.
It blinks the boundary layer around a person through a dynamic. And I guess it matters what kind of dragon we're talking about. Realize here is that the bigger the thing does...
If this kite is completely inaccurate, I'm gonna kill this guy and tell him to his face. You're wrong about physics! Not enough lift force. Oh.
Nuclear metal donut thing with magnetically confined star-like plasma. The radiation flux in here alone is enough to cause instant death.
That's really funny. I like that idea.
Hey, look at me. I'm a streamer. I have a bedroom. We know anything with a decapitation hazard deserves to, yeah.
Ooh. Oh, that's good. That's fine.
Put it on PBS. I dare you. Had it with me, then we wouldn't need to have this conversation. Good luck. Do you know how many bathyspheres you need to get down here? Well, same to you, sir. No. What? Oh, yeah. Yeah, like a double cheeseburger, I guess. Okay. Thanks. Love you. Bye. Jet. When you are in a facility such as mine, that has areas in which we corral and take care of various creatures of the sea, you can tell that when something goes missing, you can tell almost immediately. Look at my friend Craig up there. Something happened to Craig, I would know immediately. And yet, for another facility, namely fisheries in Alaska, they're reportedly missing 1 billion crabs. The normal narrative you see around all these crabs is that, oh, they disappeared and we have no reason why. I'm a ghost crab, which is actually a crab. I nailed it. But do we know more about what happened to these crabs than is being let on in the news media. No, I'm not the Alex Jones of crabs. I just want to invite you to office hours. What would the Alex Jones of crabs be like? These fishing boats are turning our crabs straight. Hello, and welcome to Office Hours, a live component of the facility where good old Professor Kyle opens up his blast doors and allows all of you, members of the general public, my security team, Jabo and Heather, everyone from the facility who sims for science there, to come in here for the next hour or so as we talk through all of the best science from the last week or 2 weeks or whenever we did this last time. Today we'll be talking about crabby crabs and what has supposedly happened to 1 billion of them. But of course, as we continue on today's broadcast, if you want to talk with us live, you can do so in the chat. You can also try Super Chat, as you see people are doing. I can't promise I'll get to every one of your Super Chats, but even if I don't get to it, you should know that it is going towards a good cause, which is, of course, simping for science, and help me fix that light. Nailed it. If you want to continue on this conversation after we're live, that's patreon.com/Kyle Hill, and as you're seeing pinned at the top of the chat right now, right after this, right after office hours, we'll be continuing on our spooky Dead Space streams, where last time we had 38 science lessons as we played one of the best scary games ever made. I hope to see you there. Liz Calvert with the 50, before we get into crabby pinches. Hey, Sci Kyle. Not a tiny human question of the week, but rather he wants you to know that he downloaded a raft game, and the shark keeps trying to attack your raft, and it's so mean and rude, he calls it Karen. Thanks, Liz. Light Halcyon with a 1069. Nice. Wait, what kind of crabs? I might be in the wrong place. Light Halcyon. There's the door. Crosby M with the 10. Hello from Alaska. Finally caught you live. Crosby, your timing is perfect because we have a topic that has to do with your state. I'm almost done with my first Mass Effect playthrough, and I'm obsessed now. Who's your favorite character, says Crosby M. Crosby, still Nash and Young. Favorite Mass Effect? I gotta go Liara. I'm a big Liara simp. Mr. Musk with Canadian $10. What'd you do with all these crabs, Kyle? I will tell you. I didn't do anything personally with the crabs. I'm saying, do crabs have nipples? No. Crafty, that's a perfectly fine question. I didn't know that. I don't think they do. Do they? No, they don't lactate. They're not mammals. Anything that's not... Name something that's not a mammal that has nipples. Crafty, you're welcome. Anyway, we're going to get into all your comments and questions. Kyle, how many times crabs cannot fix that broken light? You'd be surprised what enough crabs can do. Platypus? Well, platypi are monotremes, right? They're the only non-mammal that produces milk and they lay eggs. But I think monotremes are the only other animal besides mammals, and they're closely related, right? Chicken? Ducks need nipples for looks. No, they don't. Them crabs are all on my ex-wife. You know what? Let's get into it. Why are crabs so funny to you? That's what I'm... Aren't monotremes also mammals, says Michael Brewer? Are they mammals? If you spam all caps in the chat, you will get nuked from orbit, just so all of you know. Now, crabs. The first thing that you're gonna say, and I know, so we should get into this. Buster Sharp, you're incorrect. Before we get into this, why does everything seem to crap? Now, crab people. Now, if you want to know the answer to that question, we have a full video here at the facility if you want to learn more about carcinization. Why things keep turning into crabs or seem to keep turning into crabs. I will say that one of the crabs we are talking about today has indeed undergone carcinization. That is to say, it has become more crab-like over time. I shall point out, as we do in the video, that carcinization only happens in already crab-like things, like hermit crabs, which weren't true crabs until they became king crabs. So, it's not like you are going to turn into a crab. As much as you as much as you could possibly want to. So not everything crabs, and there's also decarcinization. So crab-like things also become less crab-like over time. So it's not that everything crabs, it's that some things become crab. And that is because, of course, of convergent evolution. Over evolutionary time, Mother Nature, under the same pressures, randomly selecting the random mutations that benefit being in the same environment. So multiple creatures coming up with the same solution under the same pressures with genetics. Same thing happened with eyeballs. Eyeballs evolved independently from each other multiple times. Our eyes are related to octopus eyes, or they work similarly. TJ York with the 199, don't spend this on the light, it can't be fixed. Do crabs have hair, says Spruce House. May I direct you to the hairy crab, although I don't know if you'd consider that hair. Now, why we are talking about this today is that reportedly 1 billion crabs have gone missing from the Alaskan Bering Sea. Now, this is where you see shows like Deadliest Catch take place. Oh, they crabbing. This year's crab season has been canceled because of no one knows where all the crabs went. Or do they? Exactly 1 billion, says Mr. Gooey? Yes, we counted them all. We counted the ones that weren't there, Mr. Gooey. Come on now. So, do we really know what happened to these crabs? I would say that we do. And I would say it's not being reported as such in deference to the science. So, where do we begin? Well, crab populations have been plummeting for some time. On the left, you see red king crabs, which underwent carcinization from hermit crabs and turned into crabby boys. A pinch pinch. And snow crabs. We fish these crabs because they're delicious. I no longer eat crab because there's growing evidence that they are sentient in a way that could be morally interesting. That's up to you. But you can see from 1980 to 2021, so a course of 40 years, populations plummeting. Some spikes coming back through the seasons, but as of 2021, plummeting. You're looking at, look at the immature snow crab, or look at the mature snow crab females on the bottom right there. 5 billion to less than 0.6 billion. They're all turning into crab people, says TJ York. Crab people. Did they disappear, says Elise Moore. Elise, stay tuned. So, these populations have been dwindling for some time. Why? Well, part of it has to do with the physics of ice and water, which is interesting. I didn't know any of this. Kyle, I missed the last few streams. I feel bad. Here's a Simp Howard. Gilson with the 10. Don't feel bad, buddy. I'm about to crab you up in Crabtown. So I didn't know this. Yeah, why ice? Hank, you don't have to ask me about what I just said I was going to... So, snow crabs, part of their reproductive cycle is benefited by pockets of cold water on the bottom of the ocean. Now, like hot air rises, cold water sinks. Why? Because it's more dense. Sea ice floats because ice is actually the one material, or one of the only materials in the known universe that when it freezes, it gets bigger. This increases in volume for the same mass, which decreases the density. That means the ice floats to the top. And as the ice freezes at the top of the ocean, or parts of the ocean, chunks of the ocean, it expels this water that is hotter. Elise Moore says, I can listen to you all day and not get bored. Oh, I have good news, Elise. After this, we're playing around 2 hours of video games and science after this. Are you secretly Brandon Sanderson for talking about sentient crabs? Is Light Halcyon with the 5? No. I'm a better commander player than he is. So, when ice freezes, it expels salt, which, I didn't know if you know this, but like everyone on Twitter, the sea is very salty. And so this salt allows for the freezing temperature of water to be lower. So it can get colder while staying water. This is how putting salt on walkways works. It keeps water for longer in colder temperatures instead of turning into ice and snow. Remy with the 99 salt meter. Thank you. So this cold, salty water then, because of a density difference, like, again, the opposite of hot air rising, cold water floats to the bottom of the ocean. Platinum, thanks for being here. Floats to the bottom of the ocean, and the evolutionary pathway of these crabs took advantage of the fact that they can reproduce in this colder water while avoiding predators like cod. See that? Those cod right there? Those Call of Duty fish? So, for millions and millions of years, these crab would spawn in cold pockets at the bottom of the Bering Sea. Now, of course, what evolution has not yet accounted for, because it's happening too quickly, is climate change. Now, as climate change is rapidly progressing, and we're just seeing some of the worst effects pile on and pile on and pile on, the ocean gets hotter. We know that. And so if the ocean is getting hotter, these cold pockets that were once there are both moving where they are, and they're getting warmer, allowing for more predation of the crab. So this on its own could be one explanation for where all the crabby goes. Right? But having such sharp declines indicates that maybe there's something else going on here. And that something else going on here is not what you usually read. So what else is going on here? As you can see, from 2013 to 2019, you can see the Bering Sea right there. You can see the ice recede over the years. So that ice is not expelling that cold water, which is not going to the bottom of the ocean, which is not helping these crabs become abundant. Marlon May with the 5. Isn't there also a king crab explosion in the Norwegian Arctic where they are an invasive species, says Marlon? I didn't know about that, but invasive species exploding is nothing new, so I believe it at face value with no research, just like Facebook. So the Bering Sea ice is supporting our hypothesis so far that as the ice retracts, it's harder for these crabs to spawn without massive predation. Also, like I said, as you can see from 2010 to 2019, over the course of the last 10 years. Now remember, this is 10 years. Evolutionary time, geologic time is on the millions of years. So for all this to happen quickly is an incredible shock to a food web and to a food system. Really. So like we also said, as the ice is retreating, so are the cold pockets where the crabs spawn moving. Now I'm going to show you this. This is an image, so it's overlaid on the previous image. So you see Bering Sea area here in between Alaska and the Asian continent, moving, cold pockets moving. Now we look at the same area, and over the last year, those green blips are fishing boats. You compare it year over year, the fishing boats are following the receding ice. Yo, champ, glad to see you live. Yeah, says Bakwa. Welcome. Those are all fishing boats following the receding ice. At the same time, we see an eruption. Now, this is kind of the other graph flipped on its head. This is an eruption of crab mortality. Say my name, Kyle. Say it. Says. So at the same time the ice is receding, fishing boats are following it and fishing for a ridiculous amount of crab. Now, there's an additional factor here, is that if they are following, Glenn, welcome. If they are following where these spawning areas have to move, they are necessarily going to catch more crab directly where they spawn. So what's happening to the crab? Do we have any possible indication of where could all these crabs go? Huh? I mean, who could say that as Bering Sea ice melted, exposing more areas for fishing boats to go directly to where vulnerable spawning areas of crabs were moving? Who can say? Now, I might sound a little conspiratorial here, but this has happened before. What scientists are claiming, and I'm looking for almost all of this. I'm looking at some wonderful threads on Twitter that I was reading and some background research. So this has happened before in the 1980s when the red king crab population was almost completely wiped out. This photo was taken by a whistleblower where populations of crabs that weren't supposed to be fished were being fished and handed off across different countries, more or less in secret. So this is a so-called red bag. Secretly delivered. Red bag of red king crab. The scene depicted here suggests how quickly the reproductive capacity of Bristol Bay red king crab might have eroded. Yet, the model that these fisheries use deceptively included such losses as natural mortality and not fishing-related mortality. So, chat, what could be happening to these crabs? Do we have any idea what could be happening to these crabs? What I'm proposing, and what I think is an interesting example, is that we are seeing a substantial direct impact of a species vulnerable to climate change. Do you think they just, moved? That doesn't explain how 1 billion of crabs just disappeared, or maybe disease, says Makos with the 9.99. Makos, I have good news. Rewind 15 minutes. It wouldn't make sense that the crabs just moved if they are staying in the same area for millions of years and moving only in response to changing environmental conditions. So I think this is a unique example that's getting a lot of press of humanity exploiting an additional vulnerability that we created, right? Humans are never going to stop eating crab. Humans are never going to stop eating anything. There are ways and suggested changes to make to fisheries and other animal industries that we could harvest animal flesh sustainably. But what's happening here is short-sighted exploitation, right? Oh, hey, great. Hey, more of the Bering Sea has opened up. That means we can have more Discovery Channel cameramen out here. But at what cost, Mike Rowe? At what cost? That was my little crab rant. That didn't go as long as I thought it was going to go. So now we have a lot of time, you and me, to talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'll remind you, as is pinned right behind my head right now, right after this, we will be jumping over to the Kyle Hill Gaming channel, where we will be continuing our playthrough of Dead Space 2. Espacio Muerte 2. I don't know if that's accurate. I only care a little bit. Last playthrough we played for 3 hours and we had 38 science lessons during that. That's more than you learn during a school period. Think about that. And we also now have memberships over on the gaming channel. So if you never want to miss a beat, if you want specific badges and emojis that show me how cool you are, do it. Uber Doward with the 5. Cynical question. Are we going to see more industries blaming climate change for the things they've ultimately done? Yes. And like I say, it's cynical and it's short-sighted, because even industries that want to be sustainable can hide behind, this act of God kind of thing, where most of the articles you read about these pinchi boys. Hey Kyle, love the show, says Rusty Fritz. What the hell was I saying? Rusty, you ruined me. Michael Brewer with a check mark, so you must be important. Are there any king crab farms? I don't know. Is it a, can you farm king crab? I think you have, well, I don't know. I would imagine that if there were substantial numbers of king crab farms, that they wouldn't need to do the deadliest job on Earth. So I would suspect that there's probably not very many, at least not to sustain demand. But I don't know. I don't know nothing. Damn you, Rusty. Kyle, are we actually screwed? I'm not the best person to talk about optimistic views of our future. A lot of things are pretty bleak right now, but how I get through it is I tell myself I'm trying my best to educate and not only that, inspire, if I could be so bold to ask, to inspire young kids to address these problems through science. And yeah. When I went into engineering back in 2008, jeez, I went directly into environmental engineering because I knew climate change was going to be a big problem and I wanted to solve it. And then I realized I like talking about and teaching science more than doing it myself. And now I'm here. Pretty cool, right? Haven't caught you in a while. Doing great as always, says Wendy B. Wendy, welcome. I want to address something also. No, I don't. We should start eating the spider crabs and coconut crabs. Those beasts are hardy, says Donald Hudson. Donald, I don't want to try to wrestle a coconut crab. Coconut crabs, I think, by weight, are one of the strongest organisms. I think there's a study, I forget what their crushing strength is, but I think, like, with one arm, they can lift, like, 60 pounds. That's crazy. That's crazy. For a crab? Michael Brewer, have you had people tell you that you converted them to science? Yeah, I'm fortunate enough that I do get a lot of positive feedback. And when I do, I screenshot it and I put it on a folder on my desktop called Nice Things. Pizza for breakfast says, did you happen to see that frogs in Chernobyl are turning black? The melanin helped stop radiation, apparently. This is pizza for breakfast. That gets a little complicated. So that story, pizza for breakfast, is a little different. Tenebrosol says those crabs killed Amelia Earhart. No, they probably ate her bones and body when she died, though. Probably didn't kill her. Pretty hard to be ambushed by a coconut crab. Shame they ate that lady. People, she probably died on an island, or so, as far as I know about the theories, she probably died on an island and then was eaten by crabs. She wasn't killed by crabs. So you may have seen a story, and I almost did this for office hours a couple weeks back, that frogs in Chernobyl were, quote, turning black. Michael Carney, are you serious right now, buddy? Okay. Just a second, chat. We have to take a quick pit stop here. Michael Carney with the $5, and he says, Elizabeth, on behalf of Michael, will you marry him? Oh. Oops. Probably shouldn't have done that publicly. Jeez. Whoa. If that was a joke, I don't care. If it wasn't a joke, I hope that turned out the way you planned, Michael. So you may have heard that the frogs were turning black. What actually happened was that those frogs were selected for. So evolution via natural selection selects for random mutations in a population based on environmental pressures. In Chernobyl, that environmental pressure is ambient levels of radiation that are higher than normal. And so melanin, which is a pigment in skin, which normally, most of what it does is it blocks radiation already. Melanin blocks ultraviolet radiation, photons of light that can ionize your body and give you, skin cancer, sunburn, that kind of thing. The radiation in Chernobyl, depending on what type it is, if it's gamma radiation, it's the same thing. That's just a higher energy photon. It's still light. So what happened, it was the frogs who naturally already had more melanin in their skin ended up being more successful because that was blocking these photons of light more than the frogs who were just frog green. And so over time, these darker frogs were selected for. They didn't evolve in response to the radiation. It's only been 35 years. And that's not that, it's possible, but evolution does happen quickly, but that's a very short amount of time and a short number of populations, small number of populations rather. So they were selected for. That darker frog was already in the environment. It wasn't all green frogs and then they all became black. That's not what happened. So I just wanted to clarify that a little bit. Cross BM with another 10. Says, I've never eaten crab or lobster. Really bothers me how people are fine with cooking them alive. Crabs are one of my top favorite animals. I also love Liara, and I chose to romance Garrus. Hey, once he's done with those calibrations, he's going to calibrate your heart. I was going to say something a lot dirtier, but then I took a left turn. Matthew Hart. Is that you? Matthew? Is that you? One of my writers? Is that you? Matthew Hart with the 10. Have you seen the new polymer resin from MIT? No, I have not. So I cannot speak about it intelligently. Gunnar Gunderson, Lord of the Gun, says you should... Nope. Not going to read that. Does Garrus have nipples? Willie. I don't know. He's not mammalian. He's reptilian. So if a human's called if a human-like thing is called a humanoid, would it be like a reptinoid? Reptiloid? Reploid. Yes, Garrus is a reploid. What's the name of him again? He's a reploid Turian. A reptoid. Kangaroos hide their nipples, says nobody, and nobody asked. You know that kangaroo... We don't have to get into this. Are you an inverse Dr. Disrespect, says Scott S. What? You mean the two-time, back-to-back, international video game superstar? Superstar? 1993, 1994? Huh? 6'8", 37-inch vertical leap? Is that what we're talking about? No, I have no idea who you're talking about. Do people ask you to ask their partner for hand in marriage often, says Luis Valenzuela? No, that's never happened before. Hey, hey, Michael, if you're still in the chat, I need an update on if that was a joke and if she said yes or not. We need to know that. Glenn Murphy, Kyle, say hi to my wife. She wants to save it for alarm. Hi, Trish. This is Kyle Hill. For an alarm, huh? Okay. First of all, tell your wife I said hi. And second, she'll know what it means. And second of all, why are you guys asking me to do this stuff? Hey, Trish, it's time to do the thing that you had to do. This is Kyle. Bye. There you go. Do you have any more Chernobyl content coming out or talking about nukes? Says Berserk. Berserk. Oh, I missed it? She said yes? Yes. Irish says, are you Fat Thor? Yeah, I'm so gross. Fucking moron. You know what? You are banned. You dummy. I'm so glad. Anyway, stupid ass people. Hey, this guy looks better than me in every way. Let's bring him down. Cool. Fun use of your time. It's Tuesday. It's a Tuesday afternoon. You should be. Yes. Chernobyl content. So, we've actually been waiting to post a video about the dogs of Chernobyl, the pupyettes, as I like to call them, for 2 weeks now. And the reason that we are, Alicia, sorry, I always mix it up. Michael in the chat said she said yes. Michael, Elizabeth, I wish you all the love and happiness in the world for as long as you both shall endure that. Live, I meant to say. Sorry. We have a full documentary and a fundraiser about the dogs of Chernobyl. And I want to do some real good in the world and make a documentary about these pups and raise a lot of money for them. Problem is that I'm having trouble getting the nonprofit added to YouTube's backend so that the fundraiser can live on the video and just be native there, and you can just go and just click and donate. Super easy. So I'm working with YouTube directly right now to get the foundation added so that we can do the fundraiser correctly. Because if y'all don't know, social media operates on a 0.1% rule, in my experience, which is if you give someone a link to click like this, 0.1% of people are going to click it. If there's 1,000 of you watching right now, maybe 10 of you have clicked this. Probably less. So you want to make it as easy as possible for people to do the thing. So we've been waiting for a while on our dogs video until we get the fundraiser integrated into the YouTube video, and then we will release it. Hey, Kyle from Milwaukee, how you doing? Oh, I wish I could go back. I was looking at houses. Whew. Bunkers, specifically. Michael's going to need you to officiate the wedding. So how can he get in contact with you, says Uber, with the 5. I will not do that. Haven't I done enough? Some people get jealous about other success, need to bash them to feel better, thrive on their negativity. It means you're killing it, says TJ York. I get called out of shape Fat Thor a lot. Well, not a lot. I just notice it, and it's It makes me feel bad, of course. But I don't get it. I don't get it. Wintermute, the companion AI to Neuromancer, says, just stopping by to say, hey, Kyle, I love the show. Keep it up. Sadly, keep on missing you live. Keep it up. The future is nuclear. Give a treat to Lady 3 Jane, one of my cats. Thank you, Wintermute. But I think the comparison, isn't it like Chris Hemsworth is one of the most in Thor, and in the latest one specifically, is one of the most in shape people you've ever seen. And so in comparison to him, everybody is out of shape Thor. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Whatever. Hey, Kyle, never made a live stream before, but I finally have, says Captain Batman. Looking forward to seeing you for Magic 30 in Vegas next week. It is not next week. Don't scare me like that. But yes, I will be at Magic 30, the Magic 30th anniversary celebration in Vegas if you want to play some games with me. Woo! Yeah, guys. Chris Hemsworth is heavier than me. Hey, Kyle, will you say hello to my guinea pig? Says Brandon's mule. Sure. At dawn, burn the house down. Don't do that. Guys, you don't have to make me, or try and make me feel better. It's fine. I work out 6 times a week. My partner is a personal trainer. It's fine. Just trying to get at the fact that it is a bad cycle to compare yourself to people who are in shape for their job. The studio probably spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on his food, his training regimen, the best trainers in the world. He probably didn't have a beer for 6 months. And I like beer. Those locks rival the God of Thunder, says Zach Connolly with the $9.99. Yes, mine is real, and my hair is better. It's true. Adam Frost with the New Zealand $8.99. Hey, Kyle, a question that's been living at the back of my head for a while now. How does the human body / cells make things like bone and teeth? It's all protein, baby. Crosby with the 5, you're beautiful. Don't listen to any haters. Keep it sexy 100%. Whew! Crosby. Stills Nash and Young. Thank you. Who said what? Who said what now? How do your cells make bones and teeth and stuff? That's hard. It's simpler than you think. At the very smallest levels, atoms and molecules aren't like rocks, right? It's not like hard crystalline structure yet. It's not like boulders moving around. And so when you ingest minerals or elements combined with other, like calcium and potassium and other what are usually metals, your body can can take those minerals and atoms attached to other things in your body, in your food, whatever, if you're drinking milk for calcium, it can extract those minerals and atoms and just start piecing together. In addition to proteins, which is the majority of how your body does stuff. Everything, your DNA is genetic code to make proteins in your cells, and then those proteins do stuff. So in combination with protein and minerals and atoms and molecules that are extracted from your food, you can build up structures that aren't just squishy, right? Same way, crabs can make their carapaces. That's an Aussie accent, says Avenging Angel. I was trying New Zealand, but I have been getting pretty good with my Australian accent. I've been practicing it. I even tried it in front of an Australian woman, and she said it was good. Last question in the evening, says Uber again. What upcoming technology are most excited for and why? I think fully autonomous self-driving cars everywhere would be very cool. Our cells are molecular printers. Yes. Well, fusion says etc. would be a good choice, but I have no idea when the hell that's going to happen. It's always a couple years out. I think fully autonomous cars on the road in mass is a lot closer. Whew. Man, can y'all imagine what would happen if Elizabeth said no to that guy's proposal on stream? That would have been immortalized forever, Michael. You took a risk, buddy. You took a risk. I appreciate that. Fat Thor, you fucking kid. Jesus. My answer is fusion. Fully auto cars are always just a couple years out. Compare the advancements of the two. You know? Compare the timeline of recent advancements from fusion and self-driving cars. You know. Can you say hello to my husky in your best Australian accent, says Wendy B. Oh, hey, what a beauty. No, I was okay, wait. Shut up. I know. That was Steve Irwin. I did Steve Irwin real quick. It's just what I say to animals when I see them, because I really loved the crocodile hunter growing up, and so now I peek through bushes and I go, oh, what a beauty. Like that. I don't know what your husky's name is, Wendy. But I bet they're a good boy or girl. Hey, how you going, mate? You good? You want to play? No? Fine. I don't care. Technically not Australian. Everyone, stop. Koopa. I will say I've started seeing multiple Teslas in the middle of nowhere backwoods where I live in the last year or so. Electric is growing. Number of Teslas you see in California, where I may or may not be, it seems like they're every third or fourth car. Nuclear cars? You can answer that in Australian if you want. No. His name's Saturn, says Wendy B. His name's Saturn. Hey there, boy. Hey, Saturn. How you doing? Let's go outside, hey? Let's go outside. Let's have a little runabout, huh? That's not a phrase. I don't care. Electric cars are a joke, says Jesse. In what way? in that they exist and work? Is a facility in the Hollywood Hills, says Luis Valenzuela. No. That's not a knife, says Stephen Rios. Hey, you are appropriating my accent culture, my accent's culture. Are we ever going to have the Jetsons car? Chat. You do not want flying cars. Trust me. You think you want flying cars, but you don't. Do you know how loud a flying thing is? Do you know how bad most people are at driving things? Think of them moving in three-dimensional space. The licensing process would be insane. The insurance would be insane. When someone could, I don't know, take an entire building down by accident. Yeah, imagine, Sam Ferguson says, imagine drunken pilots. Oh. You don't want flying cars. We have those. They're called planes. Kyle, what do you think about the impact of 5G satellites? All the 5G conspiracy stuff is obviously complete hogwash nonsense water. But I have no opinion on the satellites. Aside from, like, Starlink satellites, like, messing with astronomers' view of the night sky and stuff like that, I have no opinion. I'm laughing my butt off right now, says Philly. Why? Well, I mean, if you like silly, right after this, we will not be getting silly. We'll be getting spooky scary. Right here, at this link. We'll be playing Dead Space for about 2 hours. 2 hours? sciencing the game as we do so. It's the only place on YouTube where you can get gaming and science in the same place. Yes. Cynical teenagers who are 10 years older than their target audience playing Minecraft in a 15-minute video and making $1 million every month. Yes, that's what you expect with gaming content on YouTube. But for us, we're here to game and learn at my expense. My health. What do you think will be the big impact quantum computing will have on our lives? Says Sentient Cube with the 2718. I don't know why that just looks like a fun number, doesn't it? Quantum computing is poised to change supercomputing, one. But I think the impact that it will have directly on you is encryption. Kyle, you missed my super chat 10-ish minutes ago. It says decaf coffee. He really gonna go there. I love Dead Space and learning, says Red Panda. Would you underwrite a flying car policy? Me, personally? I wouldn't trust any of you. I know the kind of people. I know the kind of people who watch this live. Let me see if I can find you, Decaf. I'll find you, Decaf. Or maybe I won't. It's too far back. We are worms in flesh robot bodies. It says Fish Sticks 420. Great. What is quantum computation? Says Leah. Quantum computation is just... Well, it's not just. It is the effort to create quantum bits. So in your computer, you have a bit of information. It's labeled a 1 or a 0, and using those bits and 1s and 0s, you can do computation. Everything your computer does. Quantum bits, because quantum mechanics allows for a weird thing called quantum superposition, quantum bits can be both a 1 and a 0 at the same time. Meaning that just a few bits in a quantum computer gets exponentially more processing power. And I think we talked about this last stream. But even a small-ish quantum computer, like 64 bits or whatever, would have like exabytes of RAM. It would be... A traditional computer wouldn't even look like it would look like a frickin' abacus next to it. You know what I mean? 5... What? Gunner? What are you saying? What do you say? I just want to recommend some... Oh, I saw you, Decaf. Yeah. I just wanted to recommend this game, Outer Wilds, because I think you'd love it. Great science, writing, gameplay. Decaf, it's in my Steam library. We were going to play it, but then I didn't. I played something that I thought would get some more people in the door as we're still growing the gaming channel. Audi says, I feel really called out right now. My mom says to be nice to me, Kyle. All right. I like your face. Backspace Punk with the R, $10. Damn, I'm late. Will we have some Dead Space gameplay later on today? Backspace Punk, I have great news. In about 40 minutes, hop onto the gaming channel. We will be playing. Yes. I think we'll probably be almost done with the game by the end of today. Kyle, do you drink your soda with or without the skin? What? Ew. I don't like you. Steven Rio says, about Minecraft, I just saw a video where 3 dudes created a computer to simulate Minecraft inside Minecraft. What's the science behind simulating a reality indistinguishable from real life? I think the interesting part of what you're describing is actually that Minecraft is Turing complete. That means that it has the components and the logic such that you can create a machine inside of Minecraft that can run any computation, in theory. And that's what Turing complete means. That's what a programming language basically is. Every programming language is Turing complete. It allows for a certain set of rules and manipulations that let you compute stuff. And so Minecraft is complicated enough that you can build things to simulate a computer that can compute anything, which makes it Turing complete. It doesn't mean it's fast or, it will work in theory. StarCraft is Turing complete. Magic the Gathering is Turing complete. I made 2 videos on that. Unlimited Infinite Minesweeper is Turing complete. That's what I think is interesting. The real question is, can it run Doom? Says Fotav. Yes, probably. Dead Space 2 indeed lured me to the channel, and now I'm watching all the other videos, says Victor. Victor, you are a perfect test case. Like when you made a calculator with Magic the Gathering cards, says Omar. Exactly. Etc. StarCraft? Yes. If you can make a video with a very high budget, what type of game would you create? Okay, so I'm going to take that 2 ways. That sounded like you meant to say video game, but you said video. If I could make a video with any budget, I'd do something like swim in a spent nuclear fuel pool. If I had a video game, what kind of video game would I make? Probably a sci-fi-y kind of thing. Definitely single-player, narrative-driven. But I don't have a idea off the top of my blonde-ish head. You ever going on the command zone again? Says Willie Reimer. I think they rotate people in and out pretty frequently. They don't do repeat guests all that much, except when it's at their own staff. So I'll probably do it again. Still friends. Haven't played with them in a while because of lockdown and everything like that. But yeah, I think they're gonna be at Magic 30. Will you ever play Overwatch 2? Says Cooper Wilkinson. 2 is a strong word, Cooper. But no, I'm not really a multiplayer guy, and I've never played Overwatch 1. I do watch people play it because it's chaotic and the colors are interesting. You heard it here first. Kyle is making Cyberpunk 2077. I gave Cyberpunk 2077 a second chance on PC. Looks great. I'm invested. I put 40 hours into it recently. Not all at once. That's impossible, chat. Uber again. Gotta leave. This isn't a question. Thanks for all that you do and help bring science to the masses. Uber, thank you so much. I appreciate all of your donations today. They're going towards me getting kibble dispensers built in the areas around Chernobyl. Literally. How compatible is deep sea technology with space technology? Says Elijah Friesen. More than you'd think. Because, a spaceship is like a reverse submarine. Where you have to have pressure and structure that can handle internal pressures and structures constructed such that they can handle an extreme pressure differential. And so that's not, it's not that crazy. It's not that crazy different. They're International Space Station and submarines are both pressurized tubes. You know what I mean? But you don't need anything nearly as robust in space because nothing is pushing on you, and if you're in orbit, you're weightless, and so you don't have any of the you don't need the same structural integrity. Thanks for all the awesome YouTube vids. You have helped bring science to so many, says Glenn Murphy. Glenn, guys, you don't have to, I'm fine. You don't have to talk me up so much. Chat, about 5 minutes, we're going to dip out, but 30 minutes after that, so in about 35 minutes, we'll be hopping back into Dead Space 2. From where? You will join me in the gaming center, where we will hop back into the game. I think we're close to finishing it, which means I get to fight my least favorite enemy, maybe in gaming, and We'll talk about everything from zero-G to plasma in space to everything. Can I get a howdy? Says CW. The Gaming Command Center? Yes, 72-inch monitors. Not a 37-inch vertical leap, but 72-inch monitors. Again, I have no idea who Dr. Disrespect is. Space is basically an anti-ocean, says etc. And airplanes are just air submarines. Why don't we build underwater like Rapture? Resources? Difficult, just general difficulty. I mean, you're at the bottom of the ocean, you're dealing with just off the top of my head. I mean, think about it. When you're building something for multiple years on the surface of Earth, you don't have to make it airtight at all times. To corrosive air. Now think about doing that at the bottom of the ocean with corrosive seawater for years, and it all has to be and then you have to get, even if you do get it built and it's crazy robust, then you have to get all the materials for all the people down there, and it's a constant source of air and food and drinkable water and all that stuff. It's difficult. It's again, it would be like living in space where you can't go outside without a pressurized suit. Nothing to eat, nothing to drink out there, you know. Chat. Say this, says Glenn Murphy. Trish Murphy is awesome. Stop making... I'm not a soundboard. I'm a sound boy. That didn't make any sense. Chat, what do we talk about today? I put forth the reasonable, backed by evidence theory that where are all these crabs going? Can you say it again with a Portuguese accent? No. I will not do an accent that will potentially make me be offensive in some way. I do an Australian accent because... Sophorus with the 10. So I have a two-part question. Do you know anything about Warhammer? The second question. Could you see humanity achieving technology at that level? No, I have never played Warhammer, although people tell me that I would like it. 2, could humanity ever achieve technology that level if we don't destroy ourselves first? Speaking of destroying ourselves first, we've been destroying crab populations. That is what we were getting at today. 1 billion crabs disappeared from the Bering Sea. I think the evidence would have you believe that this is an exploitation of vulnerable populations that are vulnerable because of rapid climate change. This is a unique and tragic example that we should learn from. If you want to learn from what we talked about today, that didn't make sense. Grammar. Rewind. Oh, Jesus Christ. Rewind the video. Check out our other live streams on the channel if you want to see our day job. Subscribe to this channel. You will see all of the sciencey work that we do, including upcoming soon. Full documentary and fundraiser about the dogs of Chernobyl. I think we have probably the best footage of them in the world. And I think you, me and you, can actually make an impact for this incredibly unique population of animals. And if we do that, if we raise a bunch of money for them, I will be very proud. I will be very proud of us and you. 30 minutes from now, click that link, or stay tuned on this live stream. You'll be automatically redirected. 30 minutes from now, we are jumping back into Dead Space 2 to continue our gameplay. That means you're getting more of this. More live streaming, and of course, more science and education. But no matter where I see you next time, whether it's back at the facility on the private Discord, patreon.com/Kyle Hill, whether it's on the next live stream, whether it's in 30 minutes, whether it's on the next video, we're raising money for puppies. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your time. Michael and Elizabeth, congratulations. Until that next time, be nice to each other, because this is all we got. Hopefully I'll see you very soon.